Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. That's right here. I am the playmaker, the host right here of this, what I call our locker room. Well, actually, when it's our locker room, we all are hosting. There's no real host. We're just all talking. That's what a locker room is about. An open, safe place to share. Oh, it's so funny. Let me throw this since I was mentioning this, guys. I should hold this, but I'm gonna tell you this thing. We were doing just a quick story. We were working. I was working in New York. We were working on the show inside the NFL. Of course, you know, working with a lot of the guys from inside the NFL, and Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall was talking about this thing that thing they did in Seattle. It was in Seattle where coach would bring everybody together, and give them a safe place to share all whatever they're going through on the football field or in life. Anything you're dealing with your personal and your family, he would say right here in this locker room, this is a safe place. Everybody, let's share. And they start talking. Everybody start telling some of the deeper stuff that they're dealing with. And at the end of it, he would say, okay, everybody come together. And then at the same time, they will all say something like, nobody gives a damn. You know, all that you're dealing with, really, nobody gives a damn. How much is this in your head? Let's stop dealing with it. I thought it was funny. You know, it was funny because you would bring them all together and everybody's pouring out their hearts. And then ultimately saying, nobody gives a damn. Basically, let's go play ball, put all of that behind you. I just think that was smart. Now, I don't know why I jumped off on that because I guess maybe I'm dealing with something. I'm so conflicted with what's going on with this Cowboy stuff. I don't know what to do. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. For some reason, I just feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. Now, let me tell you this Cowboy game. You know, I had my own little plans. You know, I knew it was going to get bad, and the Cowboys pops up and win a game. And then it makes it worse for me. Dion loses a game. And I needed Dion to win and the Cowboys to do what they do, what they were doing all year. But they had told me that's what they're going to be. So, you know, but today, with all of that going on, there's something Dion said to his team, Colorado, when they lost that game to Kansas. He said the team got intoxicated off their success. People listening to him. Remember, I told you how Jimmy Johnson used to tell you when you pat on the back, when you get patted on the back so much, there's this tendency to ease up, to let up, to lighten up. And that's what Time was talking about. And then when I heard Jerry today, we addressed it on the show, and I know he does his interview with Sean and RJ, and I called Sean and asked him. I heard that Jerry said he may retain Mike McCarthy. He may retain Mike McCarthy. Yeah, that was a pin drop moment. Shit, that's a pin drop moment, man. I don't have anything personally against Mike McCarthy, but I'm just talking about from the outside looking in. You know, the whole idea was, you won 12. You had 12, three seasons of 12-win seasons, and then the playoffs, you were 1-3, didn't do well in the playoffs, and now, well, you're struggling to even get to the playoffs, where ultimately you're supposed to be measured, and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. So that was a shocker to hear him talk about possibly retaining Mike McCarthy. I don't know where that goes. And they said they think they can go on a run. Now, guys, throw up the Cowboys, the rest of the Cowboys schedule. Of course, it's the Giants this Thursday, right? They're playing the Giants this Thursday. And yeah, you can get the Giants. You beat the Giants 7 times in a row, and the Giants are another team that's struggling right now with a quarterback. You know, Danny DeVito. Vito was over there. Danny DeVito. Not Dan DeVito. It's Tommy DeVito. And it's not Danny DeVito's brother. We were messing with that on the other show. Is that Danny DeVito's son? No, it is not. It is not Danny DeVito's son. He has 3 kids, and neither are named Tommy and play ball. But now, okay, the Cowboys got the Giants this Thursday for Thanksgiving. And then Bengals at home, and then the Panthers. So you see, okay, the Panthers, then the Buccaneers, and then the Eagles. All right, so let's see. Okay, so you win the Giants game. You win it possibly, quite possibly, somehow creep by, sneak by. I don't see it. Even when you win the Bengals game, you can beat the Panthers. You're not going to beat the Buccaneers, the Eagles, or the Commanders. I mean, it's not a running miss. The only place you're running out of right now is out of a good draft pick. That's what it, But and it's so hard for me to talk about that because I've never believed in tanking or anything but we're in such a place right now. I really am thinking towards the draft. There's no way this team is going anywhere. Now, I'll tell you what I did like about last game. I saw some good things. I saw Devontae Turpin playing some wide receiver and making some plays. I saw some Jalen Tolbert and some of those guys making plays. That's what I'm looking at. Who's going to be here beyond this year? Because you're not going anywhere this year. We're not going anywhere. Dallas Cowboys fans, you're just not going. You want to get on the road, get on the road. They want to get on the road winning, but you're not going anywhere. So, that's just the reality of it right there. Yeah, what was this here? You guys put up some what's this? Questions here? Your thoughts from Syracuse? Okay, I do want to talk about that because I'm worried about that. My thoughts from Syracuse. Okay, all right. Finish the Cowboy stuff. I'm just saying, where's the Dallas Cowboys going from here? I don't know. I really don't know. And how much what that's going to be when he comes back next year. That I don't know. I don't know. And I thought there was an opportunity here. But you got to play football. Let's see what happens at the end of the year with that number 16, 17 draft pick that we'll end up with. Now I'll move on to Angelita Lewis asked me my thoughts on Syracuse. I will be there Saturday, and I am nervous and worried about this because the thing is that Georgia Tech game, I don't want it coming back to get us. That's why, man, could just win a game. Then it gives you a little leeway going into these last 2 games. Syracuse, they can throw the ball. We just got to be able to. I was talking to Coach Johnson about this today. We play a lot of man coverage at Miami, and we got a good enough offense that I would love to see Miami play a little bit more zone and make some of these teams walk the ball all the way up the field and not give up so many big plays on the defense. Now, if you have, and that's why we're getting all these high-scoring emotional games, because we have a potent offense, and then we give up opportunities with big plays on defense. So we just say, hey, we're not letting you guys make any more big plays. I don't think they can stop us from Miami from making big plays because you got guys on the outside and my dude, X-Man, on the inside, you see. So even if you drop back in zones, we can flood zones and do things to zones because we have the talent outside with George and all those guys and Horton outside, and then inside X-Man doing his thing. And I'm going to tell you, my boy, Aurora, that tight end. I really love that kid. He's a great, great player. So we got some real weapons and a quarterback that can distribute to all of them. So when we go back on defense, we got to do some more zone and make them walk that thing on up. Think about it. The more plays we can get, the more opportunities they'll have. Maybe get a penalty to get us an opportunity. You make them throw in small windows. I'm hoping that that's what Miami gets to do. Miami just starts thinking about doing. All right. It was the Eric Haters. Let's go, my huge fan, man. Let's go, Cowboys. Rough season, but better days, man. I hope better days ahead. I hope he was saying that. Better days ahead. Charles Davis, I really think this year the Ravens is going to win it all. They have a great shot at it, Charles. I'm not lying. I like what I see in the Ravens, and each week they're getting better in their offense. Really getting better in their offense. You still see Zay Flowers getting better. You know, Mark Andrews just got back. Now, that's that Steelers game a couple weeks ago. Things are different when they play the Steelers all the time. Mike Tomlin has a bail on Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens. But yeah, I like what I see with the Baltimore Ravens also. You know, I do like what I see. Andrew, what do you mean Dallas going to sign Danny Dimes? I don't think Dallas is going to sign Daniel Jones, brother. So, no, but that'd be interesting to see what Dallas does beyond the two guys they got here. I want to talk, guys. Let's go. The Monday night game last night between the brothers. That was a pretty good game. That was a pretty good game. That's why people say, like the boy just said, that Baltimore looks like they can go all the way. Because when you start having that kind of, you're running the ball, Derrick Henry running the ball like that, that offensive line was gassing and gaping holes. Lamar Jackson only had 177 yards, 2 TDs. But I'm going to tell you the one play that could have changed all that. That's that crossing route to Quinn Johnson. On an under route, Justin Herbert hits me right in the hands. And he dropped it. It was clear touchdown. Man coverage all the way. Everybody has their back turning. He drops the route. Boom, would have been a touchdown. Justin Herbert comes in after the game and stands up and says, hey, it's my guy. I got to keep throwing to him. Could have put the ball in a better place. No, he could not have. It was a perfect throw. And I'm with him, and I like that Justin Herbert stood up because Quinn Johnson has made such straight strides. I watched him at TCU, played with my godson, Gordon Goubert, Gannon Goubert over there, played with Goubert, and I watched him go all the way to the championship game. And the kid could play. And when the Chargers drafted him, I was kind of stunned because they had Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and everything, but they took him. And I thought Quinn was more of an upfield guy because he can get upfield, he can run. And now they're using him on a lot of crossing routes, unders, and you got to learn all of that stuff, and you got to be able to do all of that stuff in the NFL. But on that under route, you just sometimes, if you're not sure, you may take your eye off the ball just to peek because you're running across and there's a system to it. If it's a zone coverage, then you don't keep running. You sit down. You go run all the way across. You got to cross over the football. You get on the other side of the football, and you sit down. You don't keep running because if it's zone, there's a man in each zone. If you keep running full speed and they throw that ball in front of you, you're running from this zone, but you're running right into that next zone, and you're going to run right into a wall. You're going to be dead. Dead. Ask Ronaldo Nehemiah. They put him on an under, and he was fast. They were telling him, you can use the speed up the field. But they put him on an under route, and he read man coverage. See, zone, you sit down. Man coverage, you keep running. Because I have a man chasing me in man coverage, I can't sit down. But in zone, I have men already sitting, so I have to find an area and sit clean. But you keep running in man, and you can't make the mistake of reading man when it's zone. When Ronaldo Nehemiah did that, I think Deshaun Jackson did that one time too. And if you ever go look up those plays, you'll see when you make the wrong read what happens. It was devastatingly ugly. So I'm just telling you. And so he peeked out, and he could have been gone. And I think that would have made a whole difference in that game, because I think it would have tied the game back up and given them opportunity. But Baltimore, kudos. Also, kudos goes to the Chargers for where they are right now and what Jim Harbaugh has done with that football team, because I do believe that is a playoff team. So kudos to the Chargers. And I do like what I see with the Ravens. Did y'all see that upset of Texas, man? The Titans, Will Levis threw for 278 yards at TD and an interception. Tony Pollard had another 119, CJ. And they got Calvin Ridley over there. People don't understand. People messing around. The Titans got some talent. They got some talent. You remember early on, Levis was doing some crazy things with the football and just doing some college stuff. But now he's settled in, and they're playing some pretty good football. Now, on the other side, people think the Texans are taking a step back. We discussed it on the show earlier as if C.J. Stroud is in a sophomore slump. I can't go that far. You know, I know they've had some challenges. He lost both of his starting wide receivers. And the guy he has is Nico Collins back, but Stephon Diggs will not be coming back. He threw for 247 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. And they had this game. They could have won this game. They could have won this game. But they also didn't have much running. I mean, your boy rushed for 22 yards. You know, you got to get some kind of run game to give the kids some kind of stability. And what we're looking at, so I'm saying to people, I can't count this as a sophomore slump, because right now the Texans are still in first place. They're in first place. They're going to win their division. Now, what I call what C.J. Stroud's going through is the chess match or maturation that goes on in the National Football League. You can't stay the same. You got to get better each and every day. You got to find something new to get better at, because what you've shown them you can do, they're preparing to stop you. So it's a chess match. When they stop something you like doing, what else can you do? That's what made Patrick Mahomes so effective. And C.J. Stroud he has a lot of the talent, Patrick Mahomes, but he'll get more and more effective because he'll learn what they're trying to do, and he'll be able to counter it and then use their own intelligence against them. That's when you become master of the game and live in that Patrick Mahomes area right there when you get that. And the Texans are still, I will say it again, in first place and going to be in the playoffs. So I don't know how we can call that a sophomore slump. They just got to keep getting better. I told you guys when we talked about that Browns-Steelers game, that last Thursday night game in the snow, I told you guys, I said, be careful. Be careful. It's Cleveland. Nick Chubb looked much better. He had 59 yards. You know, Jameis Winston in that snow game and all of that, it was, you know, the perfect storm. The perfect storm. And Cleveland, that dude who won that game was that man-child, Myles Garrett. And I'm going to tell you why. Myles Garrett said, forget Cleveland Browns, forget Pittsburgh Steelers. Myles Garrett went into that game and said, this is between me and T.J. Watt. That's how he won that game. He wanted to prove to everybody he's the best defensive player in the National Football League. You know, that's the way he played. And that's the way he showed up. He had 3 sacks. He was living back there. Steelers 1 or 3 on 4th down. Browns were 4-4. You see, Myles Garrett said, I stopped yours and you couldn't stop mine. That means I am. I stopped yours and you couldn't stop mine. That means baddest man, defensive man, is mine. And for the next 7 days, he's right. But remember what I always said in the NFL? You got 7 more days to prove something. In 7 days, you come off that perk and somebody shut you out, or DJ Watt can come on up and have a 5-sacker and says, my crown again. But that was straight Myles Garrett doing his thing right there. Guys, that Thursday night, I know we got Thanksgiving coming up, and I want to say, man, watching the Miami Dolphins last week beat down on the Patriots, watching that team, Tua threw for 317 yards of 4 TDs. 4 TDs. I think I was looking at something where Tua has thrown 4 TDs 4 times in his career now, twice this year. That's what I think I read. Twice this year. 4 times total, and all I could think about, Waddle in the game against the Patriots had 144 yards in that TD. All I could think about was this offense fits perfectly for this kid. He has that perfect touch and the perfect pass, drops it right over the linebackers, right in front of the safeties. Right perfectly. Miami now is getting ready. It feels like they're going on a run. Miami, when they were beating the Patriots, I told about this because right after the game, Tua went to the podium. He said, I'm looking forward to Thursday. I'm looking forward to growing up and putting an end to all of the narrative. So he brought it up before they brought it up. So I ascertained that he was thinking about it while he was beating the Patriots. Man, I got to go up here and deal with this cold weather. Because he's 0-6 or 0-7 on anything below 47 degrees. 47 degrees. Now, ask Michael, how does that affect the man when you're playing in the cold? Let me tell you something. I hate it. Your hands are all frozen, and it feels like little needles. Anything that touches your hands, like it just shocks all of them. Your feet frozen. Feel like little needles in your feet. And you can't, when you're trying to cut, you got to get, it's a miserable feeling. But how does it affect everything? It affects how that ball is thrown when Tua throws that ball, because it puts weight on that ball. So, yeah, that's a real deal. Holyfield. Now, if somehow they get some great weather, that's out the window, boy. I would love that. That'd be a great game to see in great weather, to be honest with you. Because I think the speed Miami has can really give Green Bay some real issues. But that cold may be an equalizer all the way around. Sunday Night Football was a interesting game in this sense. Eagles beating the Rams 37-20. I saw that. Easily, I thought the story there was Saquon Barkley. And then I said to myself, this is the Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl because they were a run team that could pass. The team that fell off last year was a passing team that could not run. But when they are a run team that can pass, they become a dangerous team. Saquon Barkley put up 302 scrimmage yards in a game and ninth all time. But I'm going to tell you that he and I love him because he said it right after the game, and he wasn't lying. He went out, he said, let me tell you guys something. He said, I don't even want to come on the post-game interview unless you give my offensive line some credit. He's absolutely dead ass. Because I'm telling you, go back and look at that game. When I was looking at that game, those holes, he wasn't getting touched for the first 5, 6 yards. I mean, it was like literally, you can literally park your Big Mac truck right through that big garage. Run your Big Mac truck right in there. It was big. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he should give them love, man. And they beat down on the Rams, man. There's a difference right there that an Aaron Donald makes. Wouldn't be going down like that if AD was still in town. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be going down like that if AD was still in town. I can't wait for Thursday night football, guys. Thanksgiving this Thursday. You know, Bears at Lions first game. And I'm going to tell you this, because some people think that this can be a scary game for the Lions. You know, it's the holidays, you're 10-1, here comes Bears at 4-7, and they're nothing. And, you know, they're riding, losing. This could be one of those, are we overlooking trap games, overlooking the Bears? Let me tell you why no. Absolutely no, nada. And if you're gambling or betting, don't worry. It's going to be a tough game. But if Chicago can't put up 30 or 40 points, and I think the spread is about 10, they'll cover that. 10 for me on the spread in the NFL is always too much. Last week, I was looking at the Chiefs because they had the Chiefs, like a 10-point spread over the Panthers. And I was like, man, do I take that look? No way, 10 points. It's just too much. This Lions-Bears 10-point spread, I don't bet spreads that big, but I'll tell you this. If anybody's going to cover, it's going to be the Detroit Lions on this Thursday. Did you know? Last time they won, 2016, on Thanksgiving. 16 points to 13. They beat the Vikings, 16-13, 2016. They have not won on Thanksgiving since. This season, they've had a game where they scored 30 points, a game where they scored 2 games, 42, I think, and 47 points, 2 games where they scored 40 points, and then 2 more games where they have scored 52 points in each game. They have never given this fan base a great Thanksgiving. Over the last 6-7 years, it's been a horrible Thanksgiving because they go home with the loss in their mouth, the taste in their mouth, trying to drown it with the taste of turkey. But this week, this will change. I'm telling you, that team with an ability to score is going to be like a playoff atmosphere, and they're going to give the fan base what they've cheated. Well, I don't want to say cheated them out of. What they couldn't deliver for all of those years, and those fans still showed up. Detroit is going to give you a gift this Thanksgiving and show you that they are really something that you can be thankful for. I guarantee you, they put up a minimum of 30 points. I said 40 or 50. Keyshawn was like, Mike, I don't know, because that Bear defense, this, that Bear defense, that. I don't care. Watch. They will serve the people. Now, that Giant-Cowboy game, like I told you, the Cowboys 7 straight times. I believe the Cowboys will beat the Giants. I do believe the Cowboys will beat the Giants in this battle of backup quarterback game going on in the middle game. The Dolphins Packers, it's just hard for me to to go with the Dolphins, knowing that's a Florida team and all of that weather going to be, it's going to be cold. It's just hard for me to go with the Packers on that. But watch that game. I don't know. What is the spread in that game also? You guys got that? Give me the spread on that Dolphin Packers game. Let me tell you how you would bet, if that. See, since I can talk about betting, you know what I mean? I can talk about betting now. I can talk about the money stuff. I want to get that spread. Do y'all got the spread on that Miami, on that Dolphins Packers game? See if you give me that. Okay, working on it. While they're working, let them get that spread. Is that Packers by 3? Packers minus 3.5. Packers minus 3.5. Man, it's 7 at 47 degrees. That's the hard one right there, buddy. You got to be able to run the ball in order to make that happen. You got to be able to run the ball when they're here in the cold weather. I just don't know if they'll be able to run enough. That's all. That's all. I don't know if my heart's talking here because, I'm from Miami. I want the Dolphins to be in it. I really do. And I really like Tua. Miami's 5-5 against the spread in the last 10 games. Packers are, 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 games. Oh, that's information. I have to go with Green Bay in this game. I just don't know. I would have to go with Packers in this and take the -3 if I was betting. But I'm not a betting man, so I'm just giving you that, just throwing it off my tongue right there on the lips, or over my lips here. But let's go with this overreaction, a reasonable reaction, because I've been hearing a lot of things. I've been wanting to talk about a lot of things, and I get to go over a lot of things that in a short amount of time with this overreaction and reasonable reaction. I want to start with the MVP. Saquon Barkley should be in the MVP conversation. Overreaction or reasonable reaction? It is, and this is I got to put a third one in here and say, it's not an overreaction or a reasonable reaction. It's what it is. Saquon Barkley is right now the MVP. Should not be in the conversation. He should be right now the MVP. But that's not going to happen because we give that reward to a quarterback, because we perpetuate and we pay that man for that. That's why everyone, last time, I think 2011, Adrian Peterson won MVP. Ever since then, it's a quarterback. And what I propose is to come up with the top quarterback award, since we put such emphasis on it and such credence on it. Come up with a quarterback award. Make that the top award of the game, top quarterback in the game. Quarterback. And then let the rest of the guys be measured on MVP. See, the problem they have is you can't pay the quarterback $60 million. Let's turn down. No, you can't pay a quarterback $60 million and then turn around and tell running backs you're not important in the game anymore. We're taking down your salaries. And the top running backs can't even find a home. Derrick Henry's making $7-8 million. And a quarterback's making $60 million. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley should be in the MVP conversation. But what does it look like? And what does it do to the model that these jokers have created out here? These GMs have created by saying, I got to pay the quarterback, even if he's not the catalyst of my team. Like they did Ryan Tannehill and got rid of Derrick Henry. Like they did Daniel Jones and got rid of Saquon Barkley. What message is that going to send now? Those guys that they're sending out to the pastor is coming back winning MVP. That's a problem. You see what I'm saying? Yo, he is the MVP right now. So that's not a reasonable enough reaction for what we're saying. He's more than just in the conversation. He is the conversation. Number two, Vikings are first round exit playoff team. Overreaction or reasonable reaction? That's absolutely ludicrous. And that's an absolute overreaction to the head, because I think just the opposite has come up now, because TJ Hawkinson has come back of that leg injury, and now you're giving Sam Darnold a tight end to work the intermediate area. When they had a few games of a little slump, if you want to call it that slump, I was watching some film. I think Troy, somebody was breaking them down, and they were showing with Sam Darnold, he was taking too many hitches. You know, that means when your quarterback drops back on 5 steps and then you get 1 hit, 2 hits, you got to let that ball go. That's how you're taught. You hit that one time. That's when the quarterback do that 1, 2. They're patting the ball or hit you in their feet. Let it go. You only get 2 at the most. At the most. And he was 3 times. It means and not letting the ball go. You're holding on to the ball too long. You're not making the right read. You're not doing it quick enough, or somebody's not open. Now you put back in that tight end in that intermediate area. I pat that ball once, twice. He's always there. Boop, boop, boop. He's back. TJ Hawkinson. No, that's an overreaction. Vikings will not be an early fixed first round exit playoff team. They'll be a playoff team. And everybody, you better watch out for them, because now they're going off without using Justin Jefferson. That's scary. Like Miami went off without using Tyreek Hill. That's scary. Let me go to the next one. 49ers aren't making the playoffs at 5-6. Overreaction, a reasonable reaction. I just left the bandwagon. I went up to the game and still thought that the 49ers were going to come out of this division. Everybody's still right here, 5-6, 6-5. Everybody in the division, a game or two right in front of each other. So the 49ers issue is they're doing poorly in the division. They aren't winning division games. And now, Brock Purdy's out. They're talking about, is Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat? I don't think he should be, but if you put him on the hot seat, I got a cold seat over here with the Cowboys. I love to take Kyle Shanahan, one of the best in the league. So that's crazy talking about moving him. They've gone through so many injuries this year. This is a situation where you can say, hey, let's try to keep this thing together and get back healthy. All we need to do is go in here and draft, but you got so much money you're paying out to Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. All of these are highest paid people. Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. When all that money's spent there, now you start losing some of the linemen in the game that you've had that made such a difference. I had my boy looking up earlier, man, and some of the guys that have left San Francisco, there's some great talent that they have lost. So, yeah, that's where they're hurting, and right there in the offensive defensive line. If they can find some big boys up front, both sides, they'll be right back in the thick of things. So you guys just got to calm down. And they're really, really still in the race this year. But Brock can't miss another game, and they can't blow another game. And they just don't have any room for error right now. Don't look at this AFC. Don't look at this playoff picture. Right now, Chiefs, Bills. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now, we started the Chiefs, Bills, Steelers, Texans. Yeah, Texas right there. Ravens, 80 for Ravens. Chargers, Broncos. In the hunt, Dolphins. Can the Dolphins make that run? Colts and the Bengals. I'm ready to say Bengals, you will not make a run. Of course, the Colts, there's no run. The Dolphins, the only team in that hunt area that has an ability that could make a run. But remember this one thing, in the National Football League, you will get tested. And they will get tested with the things that you did not do well. You will have to do well before you move on. And that's the cold weather. We'll see what Miami can do right there if they're going to make that run. NFC, Lions at 10-1, Eagles 9-2, Seahawks 6-5, and Falcons 6-5 right now. That's the playoff. Vikings 9-2, Packers 8-3, and the Commanders at 7-5 right now in the playoffs. In the hunt, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Rams. I don't see nobody saying nothing about no Cowboys over here. I don't know what they're talking about making a run. That's it. It's the Cardinals, Buccaneers, and Rams in the hunt. That's it. But let me go back. That Commanders right there, right? I'm going to do my thing tomorrow, right? I do this pep talk. I get to pick a team to do a pep talk every Wednesday. This week I'm going to do the Commanders. I was just trying to think of how I would address it. And, they're right now, we're going to week 13, and they're in the playoffs. They've lost 3 games in a row, so they're feeling bad. So I'm going to let you peek in. My thought would be like, I'm going to come and go, bring, bring, bring. And I will explain, man. A lot of you may not know what that is, but that is the sound of a phone call. All of you nowadays, we have our own personalized ringtones, but that was the common sound that everyone had and understood was a phone call prior to all of this ringtone thing. So for the purpose of my conversation with you, bring, 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 should be you have a call. Someone's calling you. And bring, 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 that call right there, that's the NFL playoffs calling the Washington Commanders right now. Who would have thunk it 13 weeks ago at the alpha, Greek word for beginning, of this season with a new head coach and a rookie quarterback that we will be getting bring, bring, bring this call from the playoffs. Nobody in the world, nobody in this country, and certainly nobody in the NFL believed we could do this. But the men in this room. So that's the area. You see what I'm saying? I got to play with it like that. I just dropped it with you. I got to finish it up, tighten it down, but I'm going to let them know. I know you're feeling bad, but you got to get your ass up and answer this call right now and get back in this fight. That's what the Commanders got to do. And they got to do that this week. I'm just saying, give y'all a little bit. Wait, what was that there? He talks horror. Hey, Mike, if not Dion, who do you want as coach of the Cowboys? Coach Irvin? Man, I can't do any coaching. Man, I ain't coaching. Not that I wouldn't love to coach, but I just got to do it. Yeah, I would love to coach, but yeah, they'll kill me. They'll be trying to dig up everything because I'll beat everybody. Remember, I'm 3-0 over at Pro Bowl coaching now. When we did the coaching, when we did the Legends coaching, I beat. As a matter of fact, did I beat Dion? I think I beat Dion too. Is it Jay Rice? But I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. Not saying I coach like Dion. Dion's my man right now. And I'm going to tell you what's so great. It's all about order. Coaching is about order. And if you can keep everything in order and in alignment and then take care of the football stuff, that's the struggle. It's not the football stuff. You can do great at that. It's keeping all of the other stuff in order because you are the head coach, not just a position coach or an offense or defensive coordinator. So, yeah, that'd be something. Could we move back and pick up more picks? Yeah, I can see it's my man right here on the college. What was that? The College Show Sports. He's right. He's right, and but Okay, now if you move back and pick up more picks, get more opportunities, but where's the end? You're looking for an impact player. You see, but you can find good impact. I need uh, impact skill players. That's what Dallas needs. Some impactful skill players. Certainly need a running back. Rico Dowd's doing okay now, but they need a running back. They need a difference maker at the running back. They need another big time player at the wide receiver position. You know, so yeah, and they need a few linemen. They need some help certainly on the defensive line, and I think they can almost be fine. They'll find some guys to help on that offensive line, but shake up some things there because Zach Martin will probably retire. You got to find some help, but you can get back in the hunt. But you need an impact player, and you got to get it in the draft because you're not going to have a whole lot of money loose to be signing a whole lot of talent. So because you got so much money out, the Cowboys do. So they got to find some cheap labor. I shouldn't say cheap, inexpensive labor that has a lot of talent attached to it and is locked in at a reasonable number. And usually those are the draft players. And you got to find an impact player that you can use. So, yeah, moving back sounds good. It sounds good. But if you got a plan to try to do things next year, and obviously you do because you just paid Dak and CD, then you need somebody that can help you now. Moving back, picking up a lot more picks that's going to develop in 3-4 years. That's not an effective way to handle that right there. You know what I mean? So, given the current state of the Cowboys, why should Deion Sanders become the head coach of this team? I'm with you on that. I'm with you. The reason a lot of people worry about taking jobs in the NFL, especially head coaches, are okay, what kind of quarterback does he have, and how will I get along with that quarterback? And there has to be. No, I know that's one of Deion's concerns. I can't act like he didn't tell me that. We want to make sure that you have the right people around, that you're partnering with the right people. And I think him and Dak will work great together. I think Dak and Deion a lot of similarities. They will work great together. But if that happens, but if he can best do it, he would love to do it with his son, if that's possible. This to me is like the LeBron situation. And if you can, and if you can will enough power and enough opportunity because you earned it with what you've done, then hallelujah, man. That's a dream come true. Imagine that. That's the greatest story in the history of sports. If Deion Sanders came to a football club in the NFL with his son, and him and his son goes on and win a Super Bowl, it would be insane to write that and add that to his story. So, everybody gets mad at me because I brought it up, but he's my best friend, and I want to see him succeed. And I definitely want to see the Dallas Cowboys succeed. And you always talk about, I heard Joyce say that today, Jerry Jones will not let anybody come coach the Cowboys that's going to take the spotlight away from him. Bill Belichick might take the spotlight. Deion Sanders will certainly take the spotlight. Bill Belichick don't want the spotlight. Deion attracts it, eats it, sleeps it. So, but taking it from Jerry, I don't see it that way. I think it puts a bigger light on Jerry. Yeah, is what I see. So I just disagree with that part of it right there. I think it puts a huge light right on Jerry Jones, and it takes the value of the Cowboys up. Come on, man. We're talking college football. I haven't really heard much about and don't hear much about the Alabamas and Georgia like I hear the Colorado. I'm talking about you do too. You see, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. How much value did that bring to Colorado? We got everybody flying into Colorado. Every star flying into Colorado. Every place shooting, college game day. Everybody going, talking about Colorado. The value that takes to Colorado is incredible. That's all I'm saying. And I'm one of those guys that believe raising tide, raise all ship. And rising tide, raise all ship. Jerry Jones always says that to us. So Dion can rise this tide and all the ships raise on up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go and get prime time. I don't know. Jerry, I don't know if it happened. I don't know if that's going to happen. But even that Kyle Shanahan stuff, that noise that's going on in San Francisco, dude, if they let Kyle Shanahan go, they got to be crazy. He'll get pushed up so quick, just smashed up so quick, it won't be funny. Kyle Shanahan, to me, is a great head coach. He's another guy I think will work great in Dallas, but I don't think there's anything to him going anywhere. Dog, one thing I want to say, because, one cool piece says, let's get Deion, Travers, and after Shiloh and Shador contracts expired from team that drafted them. Here we go. Okay, walk on over to them boys too. Okay, we'll get them all out. I'm with all of that. That's another thing though, because you're talking about packaging something together to move, moving down and getting more picks. What about if you have an opportunity to try to package something together and go get a Travis Hunter? That's oof. Let me stop. Let me get out of this, guys. Let me get out of this. Y'all got me messing around, talking about a draft. We still got football to play this year. I'm talking about Travis Hunter in a Dallas Cowboy uniform. Stop with that. Let me stop with that right now. But he is right now, I think, Heisman Trophy. He should get that Heisman Trophy. We speaking about the NFL MVP and, Cam and Shador and all those guys playing great. But what Shiloh's doing, what Travis Hunter's doing is different world stuff. So if you give me a vote, I'm going to have to give it to Travis Hunter right now and say, you are the MVP, or, as I will say, most valuable playmaker. Not most valuable. Get that? I get that, right? Most valuable playmaker. But right here, as I draw the end, I tell you guys, you are the most valuable playmakers. Thanks for joining the locker room, sitting here, letting me chat with you just for a minute. I want you to make sure, tune in next Tuesday, right here. A lot of things will be shaken out by next Tuesday that we can really understand. I remember Jimmy would always say, I spent some time with Coach Johnson too today. I had a great time, spent some time with him. He was shooting some stuff for the Super Bowl over at Fox today. And we sat down and got it. Man, I just love that dude, man. I told him thank you too again today, just for being there, for all of us, all those dudes that had come out of the ghetto, and for bringing all of us in those rooms on Thursday nights and making us think about a career beyond football. And we talked about all the guys that was in that room that came from all of these ghettos that they had brought into Miami, and how he made us think about future. And we looked at a lot of them still having success, all because of Coach. That's my dude right there, man. Coach Johnson. I love that dude, man. Love you guys, too. Thank you, guys. Let's chat here in the locker room next Tuesday. God bless.